The artwork that you see displayed on the video screens is entitled White Flags, and it was created by a Jewish artist by the name of Aaron Fine. Fine began working on the flags not long after the tragic events of 9/11. And the project has taken him 10 years to finish. White flags represents the flags of all 193 United Nations member states. The flags are rendered entirely in white and are meant to capture on a large scale a vision of global peace and unity. Fine said that his project developed as he drove around New York following 9/11 and observed how all of the American flags found on the bumper stickers of automobiles had somehow faded into a lighter color. And it gave him an idea. Why should a flag, which is a symbol of permanence and comfort, lose its color? And so it gave him an idea to create flags of all nations to symbolize and reimagine a world in which our national symbols have faded just enough to highlight our common bond as one single human family. The flags were created as an expression of Tikkun Olam, a Hebrew phrase that means repairing or healing the world. When one speaks of Tikkun Olam, the reference is today to the pursuit of social action and social justice, fixing what is broken in our lives, in our communities, and in our world. The communities of Baltimore and Ferguson, Missouri, have reminded us that we still need to address the issue of racism and the racial tensions that divide our nation's cities, and the lack of trust between our citizens and our governing authorities. The growing threat of ISIS, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, has something that has put us all on edge. Amnesty International has reported ethnic cleansing by ISIS on a historical scale. Over 60 countries, including our own, are directly or indirectly waging war against ISIS. Palmyra, Syria, the archaeological treasure of the Middle East called the Venice of the Sands, has now been seized by ISIS. And 21 worshippers on Friday, this last Friday, were packed at a Shiite mosque in a city in Saudi Arabia when a suicide bomber blew himself and others up, claiming ties to this Islamic State. Yes, there's plenty in our world to be worried about. Dr. Benjamin Vogt, who was here last week and talked about the disappearance of the prairie lands and of the monarch butterfly and many of our native insects and plants to this area, has us concerned. The imbalance of power and wealth, the water shortage, the loss of Earth's natural resources. There is a lot in today's world that needs fixing. Tikkun Olam, repairing and healing our world, is the theme that our worship team chose for us to focus during the coming months that we call the season after this Pentecost holiday. And we issue a challenge to you, Bethany Christian Church, to verbalize how you are engaged in the act of Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam during this season after Pentecost of church liturgical time that emphasizes God's vision for justice and wholeness and peace, not just for a part of creation, but all of creation. Now is the time for you to be thinking and meditating about how you demonstrate acts of love and light that help mend a broken world. And so we ask you to write those thoughts today on your white flags that have been inserted in your worship bulletins. And then at the end of the service, we will journey to our peace pole and dedicate them. Tikkun Olam simply means making the world a better place to live. Today's lesson from the book of Acts tells the story of a small group of people who were in the upper room in Jerusalem on the Jewish festival of Pentecost. And what these people experienced, these 120 believers, including the family of Jesus, Mary and the disciples and others, so transforms them that they now believe they have the vision and the power to go into the world and make the world a better place to live for everyone. In Israel's ancient tradition, Pentecost, or Shavuot in Hebrew, was originally an agricultural festival celebrating the spring barley harvest. Jewish people from all over the Mediterranean world would journey to Jerusalem to come and bring their offerings of first fruits of their harvest, come to the temple and have them dedicated. But by the time of Jesus, the rabbis had given Pentecost a new focus. It became a time to commemorate the giving of the Torah, or teaching on Mount Sinai. And Israel would be called to now remember and celebrate Pentecost as a time when she was founded as a nation in the wilderness of Sinai to be a new people, a nation formed in covenant relationship with God, a people breathed into life by God, the Ruach, the Spirit of God. And Israel believed that God would use her to become a light to the nations in order that everyone might enjoy a better place to live. The story from the book of Acts remembers an experience that God transformed the early followers of Jesus for a bold mission, simply making the world a better place. Their mission was to heal and repair and mend the world. The fear that had once gripped the disciples and these people hiding behind locked doors following the crucifixion of Jesus is gone. There is no longer a reason to hide when Spirit manifests itself. The locked doors of the upper room where they were hiding have been unlocked, and the presence of Spirit fills them with new vision and energy. Spirit fills them with new passion for wholeness and a concern for justice. A new day has arrived, and they are ready to go out from Jerusalem into the whole Roman Empire to model the path of love and peace that Jesus had modeled for them when he was with them. And they were on fire to make the world a better place. Tikkun Olam, world repair. I think it's important for us, people of God, to understand exactly what we represent. For Aaron Fine, an artist, flags were a way for him to represent his global vision of peace and unity. Flags are a historic way of sending messages. We have 2 of them in our sanctuary. Flags originally were used to pass on instructions in the midst of national conflicts. Today they are standards. They are the standards that nations fly to display to the world what makes a nation unique. Bethany Christian Church. We are a community whose ultimate claim is that we model the way of Jesus Christ. That is who we are, our identity. That's what makes us unique. But we have to be an authentic reflection of that which makes us unique. And that is a reflection of Jesus Christ. So it's more than just wearing a cross around our neck. It's more than just raising a flag. Could there be any greater purpose than that? We invite you to become a part of a community that seeks to make the world a better place. If you so desire to become a part of that community, then I invite you to come and talk with me to get to know the community and to get to know the path that we walk. Let us